So, welcome. If you're here, you have decided to make the big, wonderful move to merry old England here. And that also means that you're a student like moi. We made the choice. We just said to our parents, you know what? I think it's gonna be a great idea. It's gonna be a really good idea if I just move across the country. I'm just gonna move across the country and I think it's gonna be a great idea. And they were like, yeah, that's great. Awesome, right? So now that you're coming over here, here is a list of things that you should probably know that I wasn't told, and it sucked because I had to walk around like a lost puppy all the time and it sucked. So I'm gonna tell you so you can just cut to the chase and be a pro once you get here. Number one, so now you've got through all the nooks and crannies of you got into school, hooray, you made it. Now you have to find a place to live. What are you gonna do? Now there are so many different ways you can do it. However, the easiest, especially as a student, is to go to one or two of these websites. I used spareroom.com, and for someone like me who doesn't want to live in the dorms because I'm old and I already did that in my undergrad and I'm like, no thanks, bye, I rented a flat here. And I found, Spare Room is great because you can either look for an entire property if you want to just live by yourself, or if you want to, or obviously if you came here like me by yourself with no prospects of meeting anybody until you got here, you needed to find a flatmate. So you can find a flatmate who already has an apartment and is looking for someone else to live with them in the apartment, or you can just look for flatmates looking to get a house or a flat together, which is great, and it takes a long time. I would recommend doing it several months in advance because a lot of people are gonna fall through. You're gonna think you have a good flat or you're gonna have a good flatmate and then plans break. So I would give yourself at least 4 months, at the most 6. I think I started looking in March and I moved here in September, and I didn't secure my flat until I think, oh gosh, July maybe. So, and that was after looking and talking to so many other people. So I definitely recommend doing that. The other one is, what is that called? Starts with an R. Drawing blank. What is it called? Man, I definitely know.
What is it called? It's just today too.
Oh yeah. So this place is, the other website is called Rightmove, and that has agencies that list their sites that they have available and they put it on their website, and usually it looks a lot nicer, but you have to forget you're also paying agency fees. And regardless, even if sometimes you have to pay attention to what is seen on Spare Room as well, because sometimes we don't have agency fees. Normally for us Americans, we want to get an apartment, we'll just walk to an apartment complex or talk to somebody, be like, oh hey, can I get a room here? Yes, no, bye, okay, peace. Not how it works here. So definitely recommend those. Those are my 2 top websites that I use, and they're great. Okay, awesome. Now you have your apartment, but you have no money. What are you gonna do? Opening up a bank account, number 2. So there are multiple different places that you could use. I use HSBC, and there are multiple other ones. I find them super easy, but there are things that you have to know when opening a bank account here. First of all, if you're a student, you have to come with kind of a letter of acceptance or some sort of proof that you are at the school. And then you also have to go, if you're living on the dorms, you have to secure a residence. So you can tell them, so you can go to your housing office or campus university and say, hey, I need like a document to prove that I live here, like in this dorm, so I can open a bank account, and they'll know what you're talking about, and you'll be good. But if you're like me and you didn't live in the dorms, just for like a short term, like a short shortened version of your tenant agreement. And then as long as they see that, you know, you sign, everyone signed, and this is where you're living, then you're okay. Also, you need to bring your BRP card. And if you don't know what it is, you'll find out soon. It's kind of like our version of a license, but it's your proof of identity in order to legally live here. And it's kind of like, it's like our instead of like when they ask you for ID, you would give them that. And so those are kind of your two main things. You also have to be in residence here for a certain amount of time in order to open up one. I remember I had to wait to get my card, and I had to wait for a tenancy agreement. I had to wait a certain amount of time, then I had to come back for an appointment, and it was frustrating. You have to make an appointment, so don't forget, don't expect to walk in there and automatically get that set up, because it takes a while. And then they will mail you your card in the mail, and you can set everything up online. They have this really great app, and it's really easy, and they're very, very secure when it comes to protecting your identity and all your information. So it's like takes me like 5 million times just to open up my app, see how much I have in my card, because it takes forever. But it's really good because I feel really safe. Also, you will need a valid phone number. Now that's where we come to number 3. So I get a lot of people asking me, what do you do about your phone number? Because obviously I came from an American phone number, and I don't live in America anymore. Obviously a new phone number. So there are 2 options. You can open up a plan here. And at first, I didn't know what to do, so I had gone about that route, and I had gone there like 5 different times. Like, well, you need this and you need that, because first you have to open up a valid bank account in order for that to work. And they can't, because they have to be able to charge your account. But you have to wait a certain amount of time to open an account. So obviously it's frustrating because you're here for a certain amount of time and you don't have a phone number, you don't have a bank account, and it's frustrating. So I'm telling you, the easiest thing to do, and I guarantee you it's so easy, is I use 3UK. I use pay as you go. So you go into any of those like mobile phone shops or Leica Mobile. There's so many other ones around here. They're like really tiny, and they sell phone cases, and you're like, what? They don't sell this here, but they do. And it's really good, and I really recommend it, because I just pay like, I don't know, £20 every other month, or it depends how much I'm using data or whatever. I just pay as I use it up. It's so easy. I have my phone number. But here's something you gotta remember. If you're calling your friends or you're calling your family at home, I would recommend you make sure that they are aware that you are over there. And don't FaceTime them when you're out walking the streets, because that's, even though you paid for that and your phone and your plan is good, theirs is not. So there's nothing like charging your lovely old sister $100 for a 5-minute conversation when you're walking to the tube and you're lost. She didn't appreciate that. So I would mainly recommend FaceTiming when you have Wi-Fi, just to be safe. But you can call them and your friends, whatever, on your pay-as-you-go thing, and you're fine. You're good. I've done that all the time. But just for FaceTime, just to be safe. WhatsApp is always great as well, and I use that all the time too. And I don't have to worry about WhatsApp charging me. So those are the top 3 things. I will post another link about how to travel around and what's easiest, do's and don'ts, food shopping, everything that you need to know to make the next step to London so much easier. Anyway, what is this?